हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा, फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी। बरनउँ रघुवर विमल जसु जोदायकु फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर। जय कपीस तिहुँ लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा। अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी। कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन वरन विराज सुवेसा। कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे। कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन। तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर। राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया। राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा। विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे। रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए। श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई। तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस वदन तुम्हारो जस गावे। अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा। नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते। कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा। राम मिलाय राज पद दीना। तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संभारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, सवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महा सुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
शुरू करिए दीदी।
Jai Shri Krishna to everyone. The root cause of all distraction is desire. Once we are able to exercise full control on our sense organs, then automatically our ego will also get annihilated. Then our antahakaran will come to a calm, composed and stable state, and we will become indifferent towards the result of our action. That is the time one will be able to perceive, feel and think of Bhagavan at any time and every time. That's why Shri Bhagavan has said, Vihaya kamanya sarvan, umascharati nispraha, nirmamo nirahankaras, sashanti madhigachati. So with this note, I bow in the feet of Lord Krishna and taking blessings from Param Pujya Swami Shri Govind Dev Giri Maharaj, I once again welcome to all to today's enlightening interpretation session of 6th chapter. Now, it's time for a prayer. As we all are aware that we start every event and occasion with prayer. Prayer means the purification of soul. It takes away negative thoughts of our mind. So I would like to request Kiran Gansani Didi. She resides in Mumbai, serving as a techno star and associated with Geeta Parivar since July 2022. Please welcome.
जय श्री कृष्ण दीदी। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचारूणमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण दीदी।
Thank you, Didi, for this beautiful prayer. Now, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. So for the Prajwalana, I would like to call Usha Pradeep Didi. She's from Pune. She is a Geeta Vrati. She is giving seva as a trainer, and she is also a part of translation team, proofreading team, and associate with Geeta Parivar since June 2021. Please welcome you.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृताम् कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः।
Thank you, Didi, for this beautiful deep Prajwalana. Now, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, who is going to explain us about the 6th chapter, Atma Sanyama Yogo Nama. He is a man of virtue and simplicity. Our respected Vikas Vaidya Bhayaji. He doesn't need any introduction, but it's my privilege and pleasure to introduce respected Vikas Vaidya Bhayaji. He is an award winner in Geeta. He is an award winner in Geeta Kanthastikaran by Sringeri Peeth from Param Puji Jagadguru Shankaracharya ji. He is native of Pune. Vikas Bhayaji is one of the most important pillar of Geeta Parivar. He is a trainer of all the levels. He trains Geeta Vratis. He has a good command on Marathi, English, Hindi, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish languages. Please welcome Vikas Bhayaji. It's my pleasure.
जी हाँ, नहीं वो हो गया, वो पूछ लिया मैंने, कोटा दी सर कैमरा खोल के बैठे थे वो। इसमें आवाज नहीं आ रही, लोगों का मैसेज आ रहे हैं, आवाज नहीं आ रही। नहीं, आप देखो जरा, एक बार ज्वाइन करके देखो, आवाज भी नहीं आ रही। आ रही है बस, ठीक। ठीक है भाई, ठीक है, ठीक है, एक बार चेक करो जी, मुझे बताना फिर।
Thirties, 40s, who was doing work as a teacher, is Aruruksha. He is doing some karma with some expectation. This Yogarud, he is not expecting anything. Same karma, Yogarud Tasaiva, same karma that fellow does, Yogarud, which was done by Aruruksha. But Shama Karanam, Shama for his own mental peace. That I have earned so much of knowledge, let me share with people. That is Yogarud and Aruruksha. Now this adhyay is totally devoted how we have to change our position from Aruruksha to Yogarud. How we can climb the ladder of yoga. And these are the steps which Paramatma has explained to us so far. In the process, we also learned an important shloka. Uddhareda atmanatmanam natma namo sadhet atma iva atmano bandhur atma ivaripur atmanaha. No point in blaming the others for your failure. You can develop yourself or you can cause downfall of yourself. Everything is within you. Don't blame others. You have to work hard on yourself. Bandhuratmatmanasya yenatmayamatmanajitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruva. If you understand that this body is me, this world is me, my attachments, my wife, my son, my house, my car, this my, you become your own enemy. When you know that you are a fragment of Paramatma and this is all temporary, when you see within yourself this particular fact, then you are your own friend. So you can be your own friend, you can be your own enemy. Depends on you, how you take your life. So these are the few important shlokas which we have learned, and then we learned how to select the place. Shuto deshe pratishtapya stiram asanam atmana natichidan natini chailajin kushottaram. All those steps we have learned, and we have come to the stage when sarvabhutastamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. Yumam pashyati sarvatra sarvaincha mai pashyati tasyahanna pranashyami sachavena pranashyati. So these are the shlokas which we have learned so far. Now we go to the 32nd shloka, first shloka of today. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham yogi paramo mataha. Atmaupamyena, Atma, the self. Aupamyena, to compare with others. Samam is again equanimity, equally. Pashyati, Pashyanti is to see. Dukkham, distress, Sukham, happiness, all this we know. So the meaning of this shloka in short is knowing the sameness of self. Knowing the sameness of self in all beings. He who sees parity everywhere, that me and they are same, this parity, equanimity, parity. He sees himself like this, be it happiness or be it sorrow. Sukham yadiva dukkham. So yogi paramo mataha. That yogi is param. That means that yogi is the most superior. Who identifies himself with others, their happiness is his happiness, their sorrow is his sorrow. Atmaupamyena sarvatra. Atmaupamyena sarvatra. You see, an ordinary person, he regards the injury to any of his limbs, be it his hand, be it his leg, or any part of the body, as his own injury. Does he say that, oh, my hand is injured, why should I worry? Let the hand worry, let the leg worry. We don't say like that, no? Because he knows that his hand is he, his leg is he. As he doesn't distinguish between himself and his limbs, yogi, he regards others as his own self and thinks of their harm, their injury, their dukkhas, their sorrows, their grief as his own harm, his own injury, his own sorrow. Meaning that an ordinary person is engaged in providing comfort to his own self, while the yogi is automatically engaged. He doesn't have to take efforts for that. When he sees somebody is in grief, he automatically gets engaged. He gets engaged in making others comfortable and happy. The Lord says, one who has known the Paramatma within, he sees the same Supreme Paramatma in others without exception. No exception in this. Be it his enemy or his friend, he sees the same Paramatma everywhere, in everyone. Others' pain is his pain, and more difficult than that, others' happiness is his happiness. You see, to share others' pain is sometimes easy, but to share others' happiness is a challenging task. Your neighbor has booked his second house, he has booked another car. You start feeling, I am living in this small house, my neighbor is prospering. Where am I? To share his happiness, he is happy, you are happy. Can you be happy with the progress of others? Tough. Sometimes outwardly you may show your happiness, but inwardly you become jealous. And what we discussed last week, our inner life is our real life. Outwardly, you may be showing happiness, but inwardly, if you are showing jealousy, then you are a jealous person. So to share others' pain is easy, but this yogi, he doesn't share others' pain only, he shares their happiness as well. When they are happy, he is also equally happy. In fact, for him, the word others doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. This person who has attained that self-realization, for him, there is no I, there is no my, there is no mine, there is no you, there is no your. There is only one singularity, that is Paramatma. There is only one existence, not existence of me or you, existence of only Paramatma. So in short, Paramatma says, whatever is your outer life, in his inward being, this yogi dwells in the God. He identifies himself with the God. And as we have discussed, our true life is our inner life. If we can share happiness of others, if we can share joy of others, then we are close to becoming yogi, close to becoming that yogarud. From aruruksha, we are getting promoted ladder by ladder, step by step in the ladder of yoga to reach that stage of yogarud. We go to the next shloka, 33rd. Now, here Arjuna is asking a question which comes to mind of all of us. Arjuna vacha yo yan yogastvaya prokta samyena madhusudana etasyahanna pashyami chanchalatva sthitim sthiram. Yaha ayam, this system, yoga, this process of yoga, tvam, by you, prokta. Prokta is to say, to describe. Samyena, usually, generally, etasya is of this. Aham, aham is I. Na pashyami, I don't perceive, I don't see. Na pashyami. Chanchalatvat sthitim sthiram. Arjuna is putting a point blank statement to his good friend, Lord Krishna. He says, O Krishna, this yoga of equanimity has been preached by you. Proktam. Yes, it has been taught by you. It has been told by you. It has been preached by you. But I don't see, I don't perceive its stability due to the restlessness of mind. Chanchalatva. Mind is chanchal, fickle, unsteady. So I don't see this yoga getting stabilized in a chanchal mind. The path of yoga, which has been described by you, I cannot see the practicality of it. Following this continuously, because you are expecting that this should become the style of life, that every time you see others in you, you see yourself in others, and you see everyone in equanimity. For a moment or two, or for a day or two, maybe with great efforts, with your blessings, I probably could do it. But to make it as our own daily lifestyle, very tough. Not possible. Because mind is restless. How can the restless mind can be put into that equanimity all the time? How it can be still, how it can be calmed to follow only that path? It will keep drifting here and there. So Arjuna says, my unsteady and unstable mind keeps wandering here and there all the time. Thus, all that you are asking me to do, that means to maintain equipoised of intellect and see that divine Paramatma in the self and in all other beings at all times. Not that you see it now and after some time you start doing something different. At all times. So Arjuna says, I don't see I can do this. Honestly, I don't see I can do this. Even if I can manage to do it for some time, thanks to your grace, thanks to your Ashirwad, thanks to your Kripa, I cannot see myself abiding in this kind of thing, this state of mind continuously. So this is a question which comes to our mind as well. That can we really live life like this? Can we make our mind steady and make it equipoised for all the situations, outwardly and inwardly, both? To further clarify, Arjuna is putting another shloka. He says, Chanchalam himana krishna pramati balavadhrudam tasyahan nigraham manye vayo rivasadushkaram. Chanchal, flickering. Pramati. Pramati is agitating. Mind is agitating. It protests, it agitates. Balavat is strong. Dhrudam. Dhrudam is dhrudha, obstinate. Nigraham. Nigraham is to restrain, to subdue. Vayu. Vayu is the wind. Dushkuram. Dushkaram is tough, difficult, tough, challenging. So Arjuna's question, he further strengthened his question by adding this shloka, saying that what you have said about this, I find it very difficult. Because for the mind is unyielding, it's very strong. Krishna, I think controlling the mind is as difficult as controlling the wind. Vayu rivasa dushkaram. Can you hold the wind? Hey wind, stop here. I'm holding you. Can we do that? Impossible. The mind is turbulent and it keeps on churning and foaming just as the wind-driven sea waves keep floating and churning. They keep rising and falling. Waves in the sea. When we have seen Ganga, most of us have seen Ganga River, the flow of Ganga River. There are some sections of Ganga wherein the river gets narrowed down. Both sides are mountains. So the river gets narrowed down and there is not much of a significant amount of wind flowing there because it is all covered by mountain on both sides. So there if you see the flow of Ganga River, it is quiet. It is quiet, not turbulent. Thus those areas of river are calm and unruffled. This is because there is not much of wind there. Now Arjuna's question is, the mind is turbulent with an unstoppable appearance and disappearance of thoughts in the mind. Someday, at the end of day, if we sit quietly on your sofa or on your chair and think right from morning till that moment in the night, how many thoughts have come into your mind and how many thoughts have gone out of your mind? We'll get amazed that our mind doesn't stick to one thought for more than 10 seconds. Such is the churning of thoughts by the mind. So we ourselves get deeply surprised as to my mind is so much active, my God. That is the very nature and temperament of the mind. The thoughts coming and going could be of all types. Some meaningful and some totally meaningless. For example, you step on that Ram Jhula, that bridge, swinging bridge in Rishikesh, and suddenly a thought comes to your mind. What happens if the supporting rope breaks of this bridge? What will happen? The thought comes to your mind. Any thought can come. So this thought comes to your mind that if suddenly the rope, this rope gets snapped, it breaks off. What will happen? So many people are on the bridge. They will all fall down. I see many foreigners here. See the process of thoughts. I see many foreigners here. Maybe they are from Australia or UK or USA or some other parts of Europe. I have never been to USA. I have never been to Europe. Thoughts are changing. I don't have a passport. I think I should apply for a passport as soon as I go home. I have not made my will also so far. I think I should call the advocate as soon as I go home and make my will. See the funny thoughts that keep coming, churning in your mind. You are walking on the bridge, but these thoughts are coming. How can you stop that? So Arjuna's question is, mind is like this. How can I bring this equanimity and calmness of mind and stillness of mind, make it thoughtless? How is it possible, Lord Krishna? Is it possible? So Arjuna is presenting his doubt that he cannot see himself continuously abiding in the state as mentioned by Lord in the previous shlokas. Sarvabhutastamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. Yumam pashyati sarvatra sarvaichami pashyati tasyahanna pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. Very good to hear, but how to implement it? I find it very difficult. He says very honestly. So Paramatma is going to reply now. What is the reply from Paramatma? We go to slok number 35. Paramatma says, Śrī-Bhagavānuvaca asamśayam mahabāho manodurnigrahechalam abhyāsena tu kaunteya vairāgyena ca grihate. Paramatma says, asamśayam. Arjuna, you are on dot. Perfect. You are correct. Asamśayam. There is no doubt about it. What you have said about the flickering mind and getting established in this kind of thoughts all the time is tough. Asamśayam. Mahabāho calling Arjuna. Mahabāho, this phrase has been used by Lord Krishna for Arjuna, and Arjuna has also used it for Mahabāho as to Lord Krishna. Person is strong arm is Mahabāho. This is not the name of either Lord Krishna or Arjuna. Mahabāho. Anybody with good build is a Mahabāho. So Arjuna's Lord Krishna says, asamśayam mahabāho manodurnigrahi chalam. Durnigraha, difficult to control, difficult to subdue, difficult to focus. Chalam, flickering. So in the first line of this shloka, Lord instantly agrees with the opinion of his disciple, his friend Arjuna, saying that asamśayam mahabāho manodurnigrahi chalam. But in the second line, Paramatma gives a solution. How to do manodigraha, how to restrain your mind. Paramatma gives a two-pronged strategy. One is abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena ca grihate. Two things. Abhyas. Abhyas means doing the same thing again and again. Paramatma has said in earlier shloka, yato yato nischarati manasyanchalam sthiram tatastado niyamit atmanyavashanayet. Wherever your mind goes, pull it back. Wherever it goes, pull it back. Wherever it goes, pull it back. Do it n number of times. When mind gets tired, it will become calm, quiet. And then you can put that thought in your mind, which you want that thought of Paramatma. So abhyas. Abhyas. And abhyas is still supported by vairagya. Dispassion. Disconnection with the outward world. So abhyas and vairagya, these two things will definitely help you. It is not easy. Of course, Paramatma agreed, asamśayam. What you say, Arjuna, is doubtless. No doubt. But it is possible. It is not impossible. It is difficult, but not impossible. Possible because of these two things, abhyas and vairagya. Doing the same practice day in and day out, every day for months, for years, and trying to disconnect from this material world, vairagya. Vairagya doesn't mean you should go to Himalaya. Vairagya, you can do it, you can follow vairagya even when you are living with your family. Becoming dispassionate is vairagya. Detachment from attachment is vairagya. So you learn this technique, how to detach from attachments and how to do abhyas. If you follow these two things, you can definitely attain that state of mind which I have described in the earlier shlokas. Paramatma says, Sarvabhutastamatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshanaha. Yumam pashyati sarvatra sarvaichami pashyati tasya pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. If you follow this, then I will never be far from you and you will never be far from me. We will be close at all time in the life. Wherever you see me, I will be there. And whenever I want, you are there for me. It is mutual relationship between you and me. I am not far from you, you are not far from me. So follow this Abhyas and Vairagya. Now, that is the thing Paramatma has said in this shloka. The very nature of mind is flickering, all that is fine. But Paramatma says, you can follow this. Lord says, Arjuna, undoubtedly the mind is capricious, flickering, and difficult to restrain, to subjugate, control, fine, understood, agreed. But it can certainly be prevailed upon by rigorous practice and vairagya, dispassion in our day-to-day behavior. Lord says, I know that the mind is fickle. I know that it is unstable. I know it is volatile, stubborn, everything what you have said, I know. And it forcefully overpowers your discriminatory wisdom also. But Lord further assures that this, with commitment of mind, the strong resolve of mind, you can attain this state of mind wherein the mind is calm down, quietened, and still. Now, this is a very comforting statement from Paramatma. What an encouraging statement from Paramatma the Lord is giving to us. Krishna says, keep patiently practicing the steps I have explained in this Adhyaya of Atma Sanyam Yoga. Keep patiently practicing those with committed mind and with confidence. If you do this, thus by following what I have said, you will be able to attain successfully this issue of stabilizing the mind. Having said that, Paramatma further elaborates that this is attainable for those who can restrain their mind through abhyas and vairagya. But it is not possible for those who cannot do it, who cannot restrain their mind. So Paramatma further says, slok number 36, Asanyatatmana yogo dushprapa iti me matihi vashyatmana tu yatata shakyo vaptumupayataha. Asanyata. Asanyata, uncontrolled, unbridled mind. Atmana, the mind. Yoga, this practice of yoga, self-realization. Dushprapa, difficult to obtain, difficult to attain. Iti me mati. Paramatma says, this is my opinion. That those who cannot restrain, cannot control their mind, for them this yoga is difficult. Shakyo vaptu upayataha. By appropriate means, you can obtain it. But if you have no control over your mind, then Paramatma says, then it is difficult. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. So the Lord says that for the one whose mind is unrestrained, it is indeed very difficult to attain this state of yoga. Asanyitatmana yoga dushprapa itme matihi. But in my opinion, Paramatma says, my opinion. In my opinion, this is certainly attainable for the one whose mind is bridled, controlled, restrained, and who keeps on trying harder and harder appropriately. See the language Paramatma has used. In my opinion. See the sheer humility of Lord Krishna. He says, in my opinion. Krishna knows everything that one needs to know. There is nothing that he doesn't know. Yet, he does not assert himself authoritatively. Let us learn from this humble. It is up to us whether you want to believe it or not. Krishna says, whose mind is unbridled will not attain the state of yoga. Paramatma says, this is my opinion. You can have other opinion. See the humility of God. When we want to say our opinion on others, we say it with trust. Take it or leave it. This is what I say. Do it. Paramatma says, this is my opinion. You think your way. I have no problem. You think your way, take your own decision. But this is my opinion. Now, Paramatma's opinion, can it be wrong opinion? So let us learn this technique of expressing our thoughts. When you are talking to others, don't talk as if you are a big authority on the subject. Express your opinion and leave it to them to think what they think. If you cannot put your thoughts in their mind. Their mind is different, your mind is different. You can express your opinion. That is what Paramatma has taught us here in this shloka. Iti me mati. This is my opinion. You are free to think otherwise. Now this is a bit of quandary, a catch-22 situation. If no yoga, then mind is fickle, unsteady. And if unsteady mind, then no yoga. So what to do first? To make the mind steady and then you do yoga, or to make yoga, make mind steady? What exactly is to be done? This is a catch-22 situation. So the question arises is how to make the mind still. The one who does not have this sattvic disposition, who lacks in faith, in vairagya, in analytical mind, that means in viveka buddhi, will not be able to practice this yoga. And if you don't practice yoga, you will be unable to prevail upon your capricious, unsteady mind. So this is a very perplexing situation, isn't it? The mind needs to have a strong resolve is the only answer. The mind needs to have a strong resolve. Those who have steadfast resolve and those who have resolute determination, they alone can do the sadhana. For the first few days, you have to be tough with yourself. You have to be tough with yourself. The task is undoubtedly difficult. Paramatma has already accepted. Asamshaya Mahavaho. It is difficult. And it is not, but it is not impossible. If you are steadfast, you are unflinching in your resolve and have that immense faith in Paramatma, then no matter how many times you fall down, you will pick up yourself and stand up again to continue your practice. So having understood this from Paramatma, now Arjuna has next set of questions which come to our mind also. The question that comes to our mind is, maybe I am late in starting sadhana of Paramatma, maybe I am late in learning Geeta, maybe I am late in learning Vishnu Sahasranam. All this spirituality I have already delayed in my life. I am already middle-aged, or some people started at 60s or 70s also. So Arjuna's question is related to those people who start little late and then they cannot complete the journey of spirituality in this life. What happens to them? Arjuna's question is, Ayati Shraddhayo Peto Yoga Chalitamanusaha Aprapya Yoga Samsiddhim Kangating Krishna Gacchati. Ayati. Yati is that person who is doing yoga. Ayati. He has become unsuccessful. Ayati, unsuccessful yogi. Shraddhaya. Shraddhaya is with faith. Upeta. Upeta is to get busy, to get engaged. Yogat, in that yogic practice. Chalita gets deviated, gets drifted. Chalita. Manasaha, who has that mind. Aprapya. He fails to attain. Aprapya. He fails to attain. What? Yoga Samsiddhi. The highest step of ladder of that yoga, the Aruruksha started from that step and Yoga Rud already attained that last step of ladder of yoga. But this person who is Ayati, he could not attain that. Kangating Krishna Gacchati. So Arjuna's question is, a yogi who has deep Shraddha, who has deep faith in Paramatma, what happens to him? What destination an unsuccessful yogi attains, who in the beginning takes the process of yoga, of that self-realization with faith, but whose mind wanders away from that yoga. Happens, many times it happens. Nobody can focus on the mind, have a focused mind all the time. So the mind wanders here and there, whose resolve is not resolute. Resolve is required, but his resolve is not resolute. Whose efforts are lukewarm, not complete, and due to material attraction, he is unable to achieve the perfection of yoga. Where does he go? Kangating Krishna Gacchati. What happens to that person whose mind flickers away during the process and he cannot attain that yoga samsiddhi? So on hearing the difficulties involved in stabilizing, bridling the mind, Arjuna raises this rather very relevant questions which comes to our mind also. What happens to one who wants to trade on this path of yoga but his resolve is weak. His mind is fickle, and his efforts are half-hearted. But he does have faith in yoga, Shraddhaya. He has Shraddha, but his efforts are lacking, not complete. The original question is, what happens to that person? This situation, is like a person who reaches the railway station when the train has just departed. He has run from his house to the railway station. He has entered the platform, but as soon as he enters the platform, he sees the train going. So this is the same situation. This fellow has started the practice of yoga. He is going to reach there, but something goes wrong and the train has already gone. Same thing is there with most of us, isn't it? We keep missing the train of our life many times. Our priorities keep on changing and we keep missing our train many times in life. Let me first establish my life, then I will think of this. Let me establish in my business, in my job. Let me settle down in my life. Let my children settle down in their life. After you settle down, you want your children also to settle down. The list never ends. Let my children settle down. Let the children settle down, and so on and so forth. All sorts of things keep on delaying your catching the train. But in the meanwhile, the train of spiritual evolution has already departed from the station. You cannot stop the train of life. Can we stop the train of life? It waits for no one. The life waits for no one. After all, can we prevent death from knocking our door someday? Can we tell the death, come some other time? I have no time. I don't want to come with you now. Come some other time. Can we say this to the knocking death? Arjuna wants to know what happens to those who are unable to catch the train of that spiritual evolution, although they had the resolve, the faith, but they lack resoluteness in their resolve, and their efforts were led back, lukewarm or half-hearted. Arjuna continues with this question in the next sloka also. Now, why people do this? Why people get drifted from their life, from their path of spirituality? There is a small story of Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the spiritual guru of Swami Vivekananda. He says, one day I was standing outside my ashram looking at the blue sky. I saw an eagle-like big bird taking rounds in the sky, steadily taking round in the sky. We also see many times. But the thought that came to his mind never comes to our mind. He saw that eagle-like bird taking round in the sky, and with every round, it was going up and up and up and up in the sky. After a few minutes, that bird went so much high that I could see hardly a black tiny spot in the sky. That much high it went. I started thinking, where is it going? So high, my goodness. It started from this level and it has gone to that level. Aruruksha to Yoga Road. Like that. Has he found a way to heaven? Has he found a way to Brahmaloka? Where is he going? The thought came to my mind and I saw that big bird nose diving and coming on the ground. Within a minute, I saw him sitting on the ground few feet away from me. I was surprised. Has some bullet hit him? Has some arrow hit him? Has he got injured? Oh, he has come down so quickly on the ground and standing there now, sitting there in front of me, few feet away from me. What is he doing there? I was curious. So I walked a few steps and watched from a distance what we're doing, sitting on the ground. I saw that big bird was busy in eating a dead rat. A dead rat was lying on the ground, which that big bird sensed from he was there at the top. Yoga Road. He had become Yoga Road, but this dead rat attracted him to this material life. And then he nosedived and drifted from his path and came down on the ground to eat that dead rat. We have many dead rats around us, which keep attracting us day in and day out. The lesson Paramatma is giving is, don't get attracted to dead rats. don't get attracted to passions in your life, then only you can tread safely on your path of spirituality. If you get drifted, then what happens? That Paramatma will tell in the further shloka, he will reply to Arjuna's question. But before that, Arjuna is strengthening his question by putting the next shloka, shloka number 38. Shloka 38 says, Kachinno bhai vibrashta chinna bhravivanashyati apratishto mahabaho vimudho brahmana pati. Now Arjuna is comparing that status of that yogi who has drifted from his path of yoga because of his not very strong resolve, not very strong commitment, half-heartedness of his efforts. Arjuna says, Kachit means whether, Ubhaya means both, Vibhrashta is to get deviated, Chinna shattered, torn, Nashyati, to perish, to get destroyed, Apratishta, without any position. Doesn't get settled here, doesn't get settled. That is Apratishta. Mahabaho, again calling to Lord Krishna, Mahabaho. Vimudha is bewildered, confused. Brahmana is the spiritual. Pati is the path. So this shloka, Arjuna compares that yogi who has drifted from his path of yoga. He says, does not such a man who is deluded, bewildered, deviated from the path of adhyatma, from the path of spirituality, from the path of yoga, without any support, he falls down like that big eagle came down on the earth. He falls down from both the spiritual and material success. He falls down from both material and spiritual success and then perishes like a raven or lacerated cloud. We see in the sky a big thick cloud and a small piece of cloud gets separated from that big cloud, and with the wind it keeps getting drifted away, and after some time it gets totally shattered. You cannot see a sign of cloud in that small piece of cloud. So Arjuna's question is, is it something that happens to that yogi who gets drifted? Because he is neither successful in yoga, and because he has devoted his time to yoga, that means he has not devoted that much time for his material life. So what happens? He is not successful in material life. He is not successful in yoga. What happens? So one whose efforts on the path of spirituality are half-hearted, does he end up losing on both the fronts? Na ghar ka na ghat ka, idhar bhi nahi, udhar bhi nahi. Neither successful in material life, nor successful in spiritual life. You see, there are fixed number of hours in the day. If you are investing your time in spiritual practice, it means that slot of time is not available for you for your worldly activities. Be it job, be it business, be it keeping a shop, or doing even some household activities. So Arjuna asked, what if someone takes out time for spiritual practices? Like you all are attending Geeta classes every day. You sacrifice something, no? And then attend Geeta class. So those 40 minutes when you are sitting in the class, those 40 minutes you are not doing your material activities. Isn't it? You sacrifice that. But this spirituality doesn't take you to the end. And because you sacrifice time here in spirituality, you lose on that material world also. You are not successful there also. Okay, what happens to that person? Does not do the practice with conviction. He doesn't do that spiritual practice with conviction and resolve, and would not end up in losing on spiritual side also and on the material side also. So he has less time to get on with his business or his job or whatever. So is he facing a lose-lose situation? We say win-win situation. But in this case, that yogi, is he facing a lose-lose situation? He is losing on both the sides. So this is the question Arjuna is posing to Lord Krishna. What happens to that yogi? Is he a loser from both the sides? Let us see. Further, Arjuna further asks this question to Paramatma and says, slok number 39, Etanme samshayam Krishna chittumarhasya sheshataha vadanyas samshayasya chitta nayyupapadyate. Arjuna says, Etat, this is the samshay, my samshay, me samshayam. This is my doubt. And it is only you who can dispel my doubt. Nobody else can do it. Ayati Shraddhayo Peto Yoga Charita Manasa, that whatever has happened, Arjuna says, Etanme Samshayan Krishna Chittum Arhasya Sheshataha, Tadanyas Samshayasya Chitta Nayupapadyate. No one else can dispel this doubt of mine, Lord Krishna. Only you can do it. Only you can do it. No one other than you can extricate, can take me out from this state of confusion, from this wave of thoughts which have come to my mind. Only you can take me out. You are the only person who can help me coming out, emerging me out of from this wave of confusion. What happens to him? What happens to him? So he says, Arjuna says that one who keeps wandering between spiritual material activities neither focuses on the inner nor the outer. Won't his fate be just like that wandering raven lacerated or cloud which has drifted from both the sides and then it shattered? Is he not a loser? Arjuna's question is, only you can clarify, Lord. No one else can clarify this doubt of mine. So now let us see how Lord replies to these questions of Arjuna about the yogi who got drifted from his path of yoga. Paramatma says, Śrī-Bhagavānu vāca pārthaneveha nāmutra vināśastasya vidyate nahi kalyāna krit durgatin tata gacchati. Now these next 2-3 shlokas are very, very comforting, very reassuring for us. Paramatma says in this shloka, Parthaneveha namutra vināśastasya vidyate nahi kalyāna krit durgatin tata gacchati. Amutra means in the next life. Vidyate, it is Kalyanakrit. This is important word. Kalyanakrit. That means one who is engaged in pious, auspicious karmas. Kalyanakrit. Durgatim, downfall, degradation. Gacchati is to go. So this shloka says, Paramatma says, a person with spiritualistic intent, Kalyanakrit, a person with spiritualistic intent who is engaged in auspicious, pious, sattvic karma activity does not ever come to any catastrophe. It doesn't meet an end in tragedy. That is, it does not meet with any destruction, either in this world, in this life that means, or in the life next to this, in the next world. So this is a great assurance Paramatma is giving. The one who has the thought, the sentiment of experience oneness with Paramatma, that super soul, even if there has not been firm conviction in his sadhana of self-realization, no devastation ever comes to such a person, either in this material life or in the life thereafter. Keep on treading on this path of spirituality steadily, one step at a time, shanai, one step at a time. And if you slip, if you fail, if you drift from your path, all it means is that the journey which you have started will take some more time to reach your destination. That's all that can happen, Paramatma says. You will attain your destination because you already started treading on that path. So you will reach the destination, but the path which was set forward earlier is getting haywire. It will take more time. If not in this lifetime, after next life, after that, after a few lifetimes, you will reach your destination for sure. You will not meet the downfall. You will not meet any catastrophe. The only thing is the journey completion will take some more time, few more lives at the most. Such a person is looked after by the divine power who has that resolution that yes, I want to tread on this path. Having that sentiment, having that commitment is enough for Paramatma. Even if you fall down, Paramatma will take care of it. So the divine power in this world, it takes care of you as well as in the next. Therefore, there is no question of any devastation occurring for that particular person. Ordinary people start their sadhana when they're already in their middle age, maybe 45, 50, 60 also. Then they think, now the time left in my life is not so much, maybe 15, 20 years, 25 years at the most. I cannot attain, obtain, achieve this complicated, deep knowledge of yoga or Bhagavad Gita or whatever adhyatmic thing you are following in such a short span of time now. I'm already delayed. This is what they think to themselves. Then again, my health is not going to support me for all these years. I have maintained good health till now, but who knows in next 25 years, 20 years, whether I will maintain the same health. Old age may catch and old age may make me sick, fall ill. I may not be able to continue this. So let us drop it now. Let us leave it for the next life. This is what many people think. Paramatma is assuring us in this shloka that whatever you are doing, some good karmas, these don't get destroyed with your death. They don't get destroyed with your death. You get its karma phala in your next birth. You don't have to start from square one in your next life. It gets continued from where you have left in your earlier life. In that ladder of yoga, you have started from Aruruksha. You want to reach Yoga Arud. In this life, you have climbed one step. You get drifted. Time runs out. You go off. In the next life, you will start from that one step onwards, not from zero. So Paramatma says, Arjuna, you only get onto the job. Rest, I will handle. Rest, I will see. The balance of our savings, for example, in the account gets carried forward every year, 31st of March, 1st of April, whatever is the balance plus interest get carried forward on the 1st of April in our passbook of the bank. It is like the same, get carried forward. Even if the passbook ends and we go to the bank to get a next passbook issued, that does not mean we have to open a new account. You have to deposit new money. Does it mean that from old passbook, the entry is transferred to the next passbook and our account is continued? Same principle applies here. Same, ditto, same, 100%. And this is a big assurance from Paramatma to us that whatever good karma, sattvic karma you are doing in this life, it's not going to go waste. It will get carried forward to the next life. It will get carried forward to the next life. So your karma, your yoga sadhana practice gets carried forward in the next life. You don't have to start afresh again. In short, we should continue to do our sattvic karma at all stages of our life. Never think I'm late. At all stages of our life, whenever you wake up, that yes, I want to do, start from that moment onwards. There is no delay sort of thing in this. Every time is the right time. The debit credit in our balance sheet is maintained by Paramatma. You don't have to worry about debit credit in your balance sheet of karmas. Paramatma is maintaining your balance sheet. We should therefore keep deep faith in what Paramatma has said in these shlokas and try to maintain our balance sheet as strong as possible by doing some pious sattvic karma, by helping others who need our help. Continue to do this good work and leave everything else to Paramatma. That is what the God says. Okay, let us go to next shloka, shloka 41 now. Prapya punyakritan lokan shitva shashvati samaha shuchinam Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā yoga bhrashto bhijayate. That yogi who got drifted is called yoga bhrashta. Yoga bhrashta is not an abuse. Yoga bhrashta is a person who got bhrashta, that is drifted from his path of yoga. That is called yoga bhrashta. So Paramatma says, this unsuccessful yogi, that yoga bhrashta, unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment in the heaven, prapyam punyakritan loka. Punyakrut lok is Swarga loka. Where pious atmas they live, that is Punya loka, that is Swarga loka. So this yogi who got drifted from his path of spirituality, path of yoga, Paramatma says, after many years of enjoyment in the heaven, because he has done some good work, though he did not complete it, that is a different issue, but he did some good work. So he gets the reward of that good work in the form of getting few years in the Swarga loka, in the heaven, and in the company of pious living entities, Punyakrita lokan. And then Ushitva, after living, abiding in that Swarga loka for many years, Shashvati Samaha, many years, Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe. Shuchinam, a pious, pure, pavitra. Shrimatam, rich, prosperous. Gehe, in the house. Abhijayate. Abhijayate is to take birth. So that yogi who left his yoga sadhana half because of not having strong resolve, but he still gets rewarded. He gets many years in the Swargaloka, in the heaven, and after his Punya Sanchay is exhausted, when the balance sheet comes to zero, all Punya Sanchay is exhausted in Swargaloka, then he takes a birth again. But while taking birth also, he is given birth in Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe, in a pious, pavitra household or in a rich, prosperous household. That yogi, he is waiting in the heaven to get appropriate set of parents. He doesn't get birth in any Tom, Dick, Harry's house. According to his karmas, he gets the proper parents. He gets proper father, proper mother. And then he gets birth in Shuchinam or Shrimatam Gehe. Gehe is the house. So he may get born in a rich house or in Pavitra pious house. So if the burning desire to achieve your object is missing, that means your efforts were half-hearted due to not backed by your firm resolve in that. But you see, even if the artists, when they work, whether it is scientists or musicians or singers or dancers or painters, whatever artists, they all creative people follow and spend many hours and years together to practice their act. They forget their hunger and thirst. This is the case of an artist. So if you want to attain Paramatma, you have to follow the same. The lesson here is perfection in yoga cannot be achieved by a casual approach. Though you can continue your journey, but your journey will take more time. You will go to heaven, spend some time there, again take birth, again you have to do karma, again you have to make sure that you don't leave your thing half done again. If you leave half done again follow the same route. So Paramatma will continue to give you chances. It is for us to make the best of the life which we have got now, not depending on our next life or life next to next. Okay, so that pious Yoga Bhrashta Yogi, he takes birth in either Shuchinam or Shrimatam Gehe. That is so guaranteed. Or what else could happen? Athava yoginamiva kule bhavati dhimatam etadhyadurlabhataral loke janmayadhi drusham. If it doesn't get birth in that pious family or that Shrimatam Gehe, then what happens is yoginam, in the learned yogi, he takes birth in the family of yogi directly. But Paramatma says durlabhataram. This is very rare to happen. So one route was he spends many years in that Swargaloka, then he gets appropriate set of parents and he gets birth in Shuchinam Gehe or Shrimatam Gehe. Fine. Otherwise, he gets directly birth in the Kule Bhavati Dhimatam. Dhimatam is who the family which is endowed with great wisdom, family of great yogis. So yogis also raise their family, obviously. So he gets directly birth in their family. He doesn't have to go to heaven. Only 3 days are enough. He has to wait only for 3 days after his death. And on the 4th day, he will get birth in that yogi's house. Kule Bhavati Dhimatam. That Dhimatam, that family of great wisdom, he takes birth there. So the Lord says that alternatively, that Yoga Bhrashta Yogi who left his yoga sadhana half done, he gets reborn straight away within 3 days in the household of a dispassionate yogi. He does not have to pass through that heaven, spend time there, then wait for parents and all that. No. Within 3 days, it happens. He directly gets reborn in the house of a yogi. That means even the dispassionate yogi can raise a family, obviously. Just as you don't stay in a filthy place, do you think that Yoga Bhrashta Yogi, who had started his sadhana with great conviction, he could not complete it is a different issue. He will take birth through some ordinary set of parents? No, Paramatma will not give him ordinary set of parents. He will either give him Shuchinam Shrimatang Gehe or Kule Bhavati Dhimatam. So such a being needs an appropriate mother and appropriate father to re-enter in this world and continue treading on his path of spirituality, continue treading on his path of yoga. This is how the Prakriti functions. This is how the world functions. Bypassing the heavens and being reborn straight away in the family of that Kule Bhavati Dhimatam, Paramatma says, Durlabhataram. This is a very rare happening. This is a very rare happening. But it also happens in many cases. Further, we go to slok number 43rd. Tatratam buddhi sanyogal labhate paurvadehikam yatate chatato bhuya samsiddhau purunandana. Tatra, thereupon, buddhi sanyogam. This is an important phrase. Buddhi sanyogam is the revival of past intellect, past consciousness of previous life. When he gets birth in that Shrimatang Gehe or that Shuchinam Gehe or that Kule Bhavati Dhimatam, he gets his revival of intellect of previous life. Labhate is to gain. Paurvadehikam. Paurvadehikam from previous body, previous life. Yatate. Yatate is to keep trying. And once he gets that, he tries more hard. Again, Bhuya. Bhuya is again Samsiddhim. To attain that perfection. To attain that perfection, salvation, liberation, whatever you call it. Purunandana is calling for Lord, Arjuna, born in Kuruvamsha. So on taking such a birth, his divine intellect, his consciousness gets revived, Paramatma says. Tatram buddhi sanyogam labhate paurvadehikam. From his previous life, from his previous body, whatever intellect, whatever samskars where there is conscious, they get revived in his next life as well. And he strives harder than before to progress further in order to achieve that yoga samsiddhi, that highest order of yoga, supreme divinity samsiddhim. All the spiritual practices performed by the sadhak, by that yoga prashna yogi, the seeker, in his previous lifetime get revived again. And as soon as his mind, intellect attain the state of maturity, you see, a newly born baby cannot attain this, no? So he has to attain certain age of maturity. Then only all this can happen. So when he attains that appropriate maturity stage, he resumes his sadhana from where he had left in his previous life. The spiritual wealth he had accumulated in his previous life comes along with him in his next life as well. See what an immensely consoling and comforting guarantee Paramatma is giving. You have climbed on the spiritual ladder. The last step will be the starting point for you in your next life. We always say that, "Hum khaliyat aaye the, khaliyat jaane wale hai." Why to do all this running around? We came empty-handed. We are going to leave this life also empty-handed. Paramatma says, those who tread on the path of spirituality, they don't go empty-handed. They carry with them the spiritual wealth. We are learning Bhagavad-Gītā, we are learning Vishnu Sahasranam. This is a great spiritual wealth we are going to carry with us in our next life. Nothing is going to go waste. We will not carry our house and car and everything. But this spiritual wealth, Paramatma says, you will carry in your next life. And no time is late. You start it at any moment, and whatever you accumulate till the end of your life, carry it forward. So why not we accumulate as much as possible in this life? So that we meet Paramatma in the next life itself. Or in this life itself. If we think this life we are late, that doesn't mean we should stop our sadhana. We should stop reading Bhagavad-Gītā. We continue our efforts and meet Paramatma, if not in this life, next life, carry forward. As simple as that. You carry forward all your karmas in the next life. So in the next life when you enter, you don't have to search for your guru also. The guru will come searching for you. Geeta Parivar has come to your doorstep to teach you Geeta in this life, because in past life you have done some good work. So you don't have to search. By guru, I don't mean the physical guru. By Guru, I mean the Gyan of the Guru. That Gyan will come searching for you. Even if you are not having inkling that you joined Geeta Parivar, but something happened and then you joined. What that something had happened? It is all your past karmas which have drawn you to this. So this game continues in all the lives. We continue. Paramatma establishes the principle of rebirth in these two shlokas. How the sanskars of previous birth get stuck to you in the next life. This is also explained by Paramatma. This is like a huge computer program Paramatma is having, developed by Paramatma only. The huge computer program. No one can make even the slightest change, modification in this program of Paramatma. This program, it provides freedom to Jivatma for the thinking and for doing karma. This program has given you these two freedoms. One is whatever karma you want to do, you are free to do. Whatever way you want to think, you are free to think the way you want. Nobody is going to impose, Paramatma is going to impose his thinking on you, nor is he going to ask you, you do this and don't do this. You are free to do whatever you want. The choice is yours. That means the Jivatma based his karma only, his karmas decides his future journey. We decide what our future journey will be by doing the karma that we are doing now. So every small bit of karma yoga you do, it gets carried forward as an addition to the already collected stock of karmas that you have accumulated over all these lives. Every being has to face three stages. One is Kriyaman, another is Sanchit, and third is Prarabdha. What is Kriyaman? Kriyaman is immediate return reward of the karma or punishment also. Return reward includes punishment also of the karma that you do. When you get it immediately, instantly, that is your Kriyaman. Kriyaman. Then Sanchit. Sanchit is a repository, a deposit of all karmas. They get accumulated in that Sanchit. And then what is Prarabdha? In this life or in the next life or the life thereafter, the karmas from Sanchita, that your deposit of karmas, they prop up sometime at an appropriate time in this life or in the next life or the life thereafter to make you face the result, return, the reward, punishment of those karmas which are lying in your Sanchit. So Kriyaman, Sanchit and Prarabdha are three stages. But the Nishkam karma takes you to closer and closer to Paramatma. It doesn't go through Kriyaman and then your Sanchit and Prarabdha. You go closer to closer when your karmas are Nishkam. The path followed by Nishkam karma is different than the path followed by an ordinary karma. Ordinary karma we follow Kriyaman, Sanchit and Prarabdha, but Nishkam karma follows a different path. It will take you closer and closer to the God. Okay. Okay, let's go to next shloka, shlok number 44. Purvabhyasena tenaiva yate yavasho pisaha jidnyasurapi yogasya shabda brahmati vartate. Purvabhyasena, previous practice done in previous life. Riyate, riyate is to attract. Avasha, avasha is automatically, without any efforts. Jidnyasu, jidnyasu, that inquisitive person. Yogasya, yogasya is about yoga. Shabda Brahma, this is important. Shabda Brahma, the ritualistic principle of Vedas. You do Sakam Karma, the ultimate objective of Vedas is to put you in the Svargaloka with that Sakam Karma. So Shabda Brahma. Ati Vartate is to go beyond that. Shabda Brahma Ati Vartate. So you go beyond the Sakam Karmas mentioned in Vedas. So Purvabhyasena teneva riyate yavasho pisa jitnyasapi yogasya Shabda Brahmati Vartate. By virtue of that divine consciousness from your previous life, it gets that person, that yoga bhrashta yogi, he gets irresistibly attracted to the path of yoga even without seeking, without desiring for it. He is living his normal life, something happens, somebody is saying, say, link of Geeta Parivar, and he gets dragged into Geeta Parivar and he starts his sadhana which he had left half done in his previous life. So something like that happens. And such a yogi who is continuing his yoga, he goes beyond the ritualistic practice of sadhanas, puja, karma kand. He goes beyond that. And then principles of Vedas, which I said, ultimate objective of Vedas is to put you in the Swargaloka. So he crosses over that. He crosses over that. Even the sakam karmas mentioned in Vedas are not relevant for him anymore. His sight are set on Paramatma. See, the practice done in previous life, the auspicious samskar carried forth from your previous life, may take some time in this life to get awakened. It doesn't happen that you are born and again you start practice immediately. It takes some time. Thus, in the meanwhile, there is a distinct possibility that in that life which you have started afresh, you may get engrossed in the enjoyment of material world. You have that background of previous life, but even then, you may get engrossed in the sensory gratification of the material world. Look at Lord Buddha, Gautam Buddha. Before he became Buddha, he was totally immersed in all sorts of sense gratification, sensory gratification. But then a time came when, as if hit by a bolt of lightning hit by it, he abruptly relinquished everything and he became a sannyasi. The transaction from intense passion, that material life, intense passion, to intense dispassion, vairagya, total vairagya, always occurs abruptly. When it will occur, we don't know. But when it happens abruptly. In the next life, if the yoga bhrashta gets stuck in some material enjoyment, he gets sucked into sense gratification, then the Lord will pull him back and put him back on the path of spirituality. Okay, we go to next shloka now. How long this will continue? Prayatnadyatamaanastu yogi samshuddha kilbishah aneka janma samsiddhas tato yati parangatim. Prayatna, by rigid practice, yataman, he keeps trying harder and harder. And that yogi, samshuddha, he washed off kilbishah, all his sinful acts of previous life, he has washed off with this rigid continuous practice in many lives. Aneka janma, it may take many lives. Samsiddham, to achieve that perfection. Yati paramagati, he attains that highest supreme destination of Paramatma, ultimately after aneka janma. So when a yogi engages himself with hard efforts, sincere endeavors to make further progress in his future lives, he cleanses of all his past contamination of sins. Then ultimately, after many years of many births rather, this process of continuation of sadhana, he attains that highest supreme paramgati. So keep on trying. Paramatma says keep on trying. Don't give it up. With more and more efforts. Don't be lazy. Don't be lethargic. Morning, you put an alarm at 5 o'clock and then you think, alarm is sounding. You think, get up or sleep for another 10 minutes. When that thought comes, instantly get up. Instantly get up. If you get up, then all the lethargy disappears once you get up. So that moment, to get up or not to get up, is important. If you hit that moment, then you are through. Sitting or yoga, to do yoga practice today or maybe tomorrow. Yesterday I have done it, no? So why today again? Maybe tomorrow. When that thought comes, yoga or no, go for it. Go for yoga. As soon as duality of thought comes, you know your conscious mind knows which is the right thought. Go for it without thinking twice. Eat or not eat. Better don't eat. Better don't eat. So your analytical mind knows what decision you really want to take. And how many lives this game will go on? Aneka janma, okay, fine. But every janma, you are going closer and closer to Paramatma with your sadhana. Imagine that Paramatma is standing 100 feet away from you. You started your journey when you got awakened in some life, maybe this life or previous life. You have traveled a distance of 1 foot towards Paramatma in some life. Next life, you start from that 1 foot onwards, as we have discussed, and travel further distance to Paramatma, another say 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet. After 20, 25 births of continuation of your sadhana in Aneka Janma, you reach 95 feet close to Paramatma. When you reach that close to Paramatma, then Paramatma will spread both his hands and will pull you to him, saying that enough. My devotee, I am thrilled with your devotion. Enough. Now you and me are same. You are a part of me. You have done enough practice for last so many lives. You have crossed distance, life after life, life after life, life after life, with full dedication. Now you have come so close to me. Now you and me are one. That is the stage of Aham Brahmasmi. And that is the stage Paramatma is leading to us in this Adhyay of Atma Sanyam. That's why from all points of view, this Adhyay is one of the most important training for us to become one with Paramatma, step by step, Shanai Shanai, Shanai Shanai. So this is how Paramatma wants us to take that. You see, we all have heard the story of that tortoise and rabbit. The tortoise and rabbit, they decide to have a race, and then the rabbit sleeps for some time, and tortoise, with consistent efforts, he crosses and he wins the race. This story every one of us have heard. The moral of the story for us is, when you are running in that on that spiritual path, though you are going gradually like the tortoise, but there should be consistency and no arrogance. The rabbit was complacent and arrogant, while tortoise was dedicated and with full resolve. That is, I have to walk on this stage. Whether I win or not, God knows. But I keep walking. This resoluteness of his mind, tortoise had. But rabbit was complacent. I'm fast. I can win it anytime. Let me nap for some time. So the lesson for all of us is the sporadic burst of enthusiasm in this yoga practice. It helps you for some time. But when that happens, you take a long gap of complacency and lethargy. That does no good to you. You can walk slowly, steadily, but regularly. Irregularity is the keyword. Most of us are like that rabbit. One moment we feel so much carried away by this yoga and everything, this spirituality and all that, that we leave everything and we get into that sadhana with total dispassion to the world. But after we do it for 1 or 2 days, we become desperate to go back to that material world, leaving the sadhana half. So such fickleness of mind doesn't help you in yoga sadhana. Okay, we go to the next sloka now. Paramatma says, which yogi Paramatma likes the most? Tapasvibhyo diko yogi jnanibhyo vimato dikaha karmebhyascha diko yogi tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. A yogi is superior to the tapasvi. Tapasvi is who does tapa. Tapa means he may stand on 1 foot for 10 years, or he may stand upside down on his head for 12 years, or he may pierce something from here, take it out from here, some such tapasvis. So yogi is superior to tapasvi. Jnani bhyopi is superior to the jnani. Jnani means person who has learned jnana by reading books, not one who has got atma jnana. Atma jnana, whosoever has got, is the highest. But jnani who has read only Vedas and Shastras, this karma yogi, Paramatma says, is superior to that jnani also. Tapasvibhyodiko yogi, jnani bhyopi mato odika, karmibhyashadiko yogi. Is superior to that karma yogi who is doing sakam karma. That's why Paramatma says, Tasmad yogi bhava Arjuna. Therefore, Arjuna, you become that Nishkam yogi and start your karma. Nishkam karma you do and start your karma of fighting the war. Ultimately, Paramatma's objective was to take Arjuna to the battlefield and make him fight the war. So all this explanation Paramatma is giving to drive one point, that karma is important. You continue to do your karma, Nishkam karma. We see in our daily life, tapasvi, then jnani also, then bhakti also. In our day-to-day life, we meet such a person, but we don't realize. We don't realize. You see the housewives who work for us day in and day out. When they decide to cook the food, they will do the planning. Guests are coming, family members are there. So what to cook? Planning. Then they will decide who likes what. Let me do that. That is bhakti. That is bhakti yoga. Then they will go into details. This item I will make. This person like little bit more chili. That person like little bit of sweetness. That person like this and all that. Preparation knowledge. That is jnana. And ultimately putting the utensils on the gas and cooking is karma yoga. So that housewife, he does bhakti yoga, jnana yoga and karma yoga day in and day out. And that too with nishkam. Doesn't expect appreciation every day. She says, I'm doing my job of cooking. Likewise, Paramatma says, person who does like this, he is a superior yogi. He is a superior yogi. We go to the last sloka of this adhyay. Yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. So of all the yogis, this yogi Paramatma says, I like the most. When you add bhakti, devotion to your karma, it is like adding sugar to the milk. Paramatma likes such a karma yogi. It is like adding sweet fragrance to the gold. Attaining siddhi with karma yoga could sometimes be a very dry process. But when you add the juice of bhakti rasa, then the product that comes out of mixture of karma and bhakti, that Paramatma likes, that Paramatma finds very tasty. So one who wants to get Atma Gyan and wants to achieve this Atma Vikas, he should progressively follow this process of karma, Gyan and sannyas in that sequence. Do karma, attain Gyan, and then detachment from attachment, sannyas. This adhyay, actually, we need much more time than what we have spent to learn this adhyay, because this is something which is an encyclopedia on how to live the life. But time is always having a constraint. And then in short time, whatever window we can open, we have tried to open that window for you to take it on further from this point onwards. So this was our Atma Sanyam Yoga. This is the end of this chapter, Atma Sanyam Yoga. You can read all the shlokas again and again. This vivation is available on YouTube. Try to listen it to this again and again. This week, last week, before that, in 3 sessions, this has been completed. My request to you is, please listen to it again and again. Then it will get deeply rooted in your mind. And then these thoughts will become more and more clear. Okay, I'll stop here. And now the session is all open for your questions. So feel free to ask your questions.
Thank you so much, Vikas Bhaiyaji, for giving this beautiful interpretation. All thanks to your enlightening words that inspired us. Thank you so much once again. I also thanks to our Vivechana team, our writing team, our technical team. Now it's time for question answer round. So whoever has a question related to Geeta, please ask your question. You can raise your hand and turn on your video, please. Yes. Sarojini Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna. I would like to buy dictionaries. I'm interested in having the English and the Hindi version. English to Sanskrit, Sanskrit to English, and Hindi to Sanskrit and Sanskrit to Hindi, both. I want who are the best authors, which dictionary to buy. I would like.
Sorry, I'm unable to give you any offhand information on this. But if you search on Amazon, you can find plenty of books on translation. of Sanskrit to English or English to Sanskrit. I have a couple of books. I can share their authors to you. You will have my number on this Vivechan. You contact me separately. I will give the titles of those
No,
books.
where's the number? Which number? What's the telephone number I should contact you on?
Okay, you note down my number. I give you now.
Yes.
9881
Yes.
25
Yes.
2057.
Yes. 057. I will just repeat 9881 252057.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, sir. I've got one dictionary, but I want something better. I'm not kind of satisfied with that. That is why.
Okay. I'll give you whatever best I have.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri
Yeah, Jai
Krishna.
Shri Krishna. First of all, thank you so much for such a wonderful lecture. My question is that, okay, the Lord Krishna has told us that you'll be liberated. But what do you think, sir? How many hours of bhakti is required to get liberated in this life only? And there's no need to take another janma. Any comments on that, sir?
There are books which prescribe that Kali Yuga people are the luckiest people. In Kali Yuga, even if you steadfastly remain committed to Paramatma for 3 years continuously, 3 years.
So
then
how
you
many
get it.
hours of bhajan or bhajan I have to do
Bhajan
or
is
chanting?
outward. Bhajan, this is a part of karma kanda. You know, you do bhajan or pujan or whatever. Whatever is required is your inner cleansing of mind and inner thinking about Paramatma. Whether you do bhajan or whether you nama japa or whatever else you do. So long as it is there within your heart, within your mind, within your intellect, then that is something which reaches Paramatma. Outwardly, people do many things. We see a big queue of people standing outside the temple, but how many of them have real Shraddha, real faith in Paramatma? They go to ask something from Paramatma. So that is not Bhakti Yoga. If you are expecting something from Paramatma, then Paramatma doesn't like that. You go without any wish, without any kamana. You take only the name of Paramatma. You go, you try it once. You go to the temple
No,
and sit.
I go without any calmness, but after reading this chapter, it comes to the mind कि कितना time बाद आपको जन्म और मृत्यु से छुटकारा मिलेगा when you get liberated. So this obviously a question comes to your mind.
You see, it varies from person to person. We don't know because Paramatma says in 4th Adhyaya that Bahuni me vititani janmani tvach Arjuna tannaham viti sarvani natvam vetta parantam. Arjuna, I have lived many lives. You also have lived many lives. I remember every one of my life. You don't remember any of your life. So we don't remember our past lives, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So we don't know how much we have traveled and how much more we have to travel. This is something which is unknown to us. So that's why we try to do our best in this life and leave the rest to Paramatma. Whether it takes this life or another 10 lives or another 15 lives, that is not in our hands, unfortunately. We have to keep trying. That's all we can do. But to give an exact answer, whether we should do worshipping for 3 hours a day or 10 hours a day, more than worshipping or doing some karma kanda, living with Paramatma for all the 24 hours of the day. Whatever you do, you talk to people, you talk as if you are talking to Paramatma. You are eating, you eat as if you are feeding Paramatma. You are walking, you feel as if you are walking with Paramatma. So every act of yours that you do during 24 hours, you consider as if you are with Paramatma all the time. Ananya Chet, Ananya Bhav. That Ananya Bhav all the time when you remain with Paramatma, that means you are a 24-hour devotee of Paramatma. And 24 hours devotee, that means a great thing. In 8th Adhyaya,
That's what. Yeah, please carry on, please.
Yeah. In 8th Adhyaya, Paramatma teaches us, all 17 Adhyayas teach us how to live the life, human life. But 8th Adhyaya teaches us how to leave this world. How to make preparation of our mind and body so that when we leave this world, we meet Paramatma. So that training also Paramatma gives in Bhagavad-Gītā. So those who are interested in knowing what exactly we need to do, living life, all 17 Adhyayas, they are a big lesson to us. But people who are in the last leg of their life, they should read 8th Adhyaya. That is the most important Adhyaya to tell us what kind of life we have to live when we are just on the verge of leaving this world. What kind of thoughts, what kind of body preparation, what kind of mind preparation, what kind of route we need to follow. So Bhagavad Gita is an encyclopedia of everything. And the more you read, the more chintan you do. See, this Vivechana, you may listen, you may forget it tomorrow. You read books, you may forget it tomorrow. But whatever chintan, internal thinking you do about your own thoughts, that remains permanently with you. And that becomes your swabhav, that becomes your nature. Whenever things come to your mind, you go back to your own nature. So it should become you should become your nature. It should not happen that you have to artificially think about something. It has to come from within. And that starts from within when you do your own manan and chintan of everything that you have heard or everything that you have read about Gita. Then you do self-training of your own mind. Then you don't need any training. Then you sit for 10 minutes a day, even that is enough.
Perfect, sir. In one more question, sir. In Bhagavad Gita 18.65, Bhagavan says that Manmana bhav madbhakto madhyagi mam namaskaru mame veshyasi satyam te pratijani priyosini. Now this says that Bhagavan says that Lord Krishna says that you do my chintan, each and sadaiv mera chintan karo. So how does that it comes at कि भगवान का चिंतन हमेशा होता रहे? So at what stage what we can do, because there are a lot of materialistic work, also we do a lot of material work, also we do job or business or whatever. So सदैव चिंतन का स्थिति कैसा है कैसे?
Okay, a good question. You see, if we think about our relationship with our mother, for example, mother, she thinks of her son or daughter all the time. We think like that. But when the son goes to school, she forgets about the son and she gets busy into her day-to-day activity, either cooking or going to office or doing some online jobs or whatever it is there. So that relationship of mother and son is also not 24 hours. The son gets married, he has his own life, he has his own family. So that relationship is temporary. You think of friends. Friends relationship also temporary. It's not permanent. Your neighbor, you talk of any relationship that we have in life. It remains in our mind temporarily. Only one relationship remains permanently in our mind is about ourselves. We think about ourselves all the time. Right from childhood, we have not changed. Our age has advanced. But I has remained I only. I have not become you, or I have not become a different person. I was the same as I was 5 years back. I was the same as I was 50 years back, or I am the same as I am today, or I will be the same next year as well. So this I in me is the only company that is permanent with me. If we replace this I with Krishna, say that I say I am Krishna.
Very good, very good.
In 7th Adhyaya, when we start this, there is a wonderful explanation on this 7th Adhyaya, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. You think I am Krishna. When you start thinking I am Krishna, then since you never forget yourself, you will never forget Krishna anytime. If you think I am different and Krishna is different, then you are forgetting other people. But when you say I am Krishna, you are never forgetting yourselves.
Very right.
So the only way to install Paramatma permanently in your intellect and consider yourself, Mama Imamshu Jiva Loke. I am a fragment of Paramatma. In 15th Adhyaya, Paramatma says, Mama Imamshu Jiva Loke. So that is a great assurance by Paramatma that I am residing in you. You are my Amsh, you are my fragment. So when that thought remains permanently in our mind while we do all outward activities, that is the way to remain established in Paramatma all the time.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much for such a wonderful explanation.
Thank you.
Siya Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri.
My question might sound a little bit silly, though, but in 9th Adhyaya, 21st shloka, Petam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam shine punne martalokam vishanti. In that shloka, we have to do gata gatan. And in this Adhyaya also, it is said the similar thing that when you your punya sanchay finishes, you come back.
Yes.
So when we say
Gata and Agat is going, coming. Going, coming is Gata Gatan.
Yeah, but my question is, when this is finished,
Yeah.
that mean we have gone back to again the zero in the account, or means because in 42nd and 43rd shloka it is said according to our punya sanchaya we will get rebirth to the parents,
Yeah.
either the parents who are like Shrimatam and Shrutinam,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
or if in the rarest the durlab situation we'll get birth in such a family where all the nannies are there. But when we say gata gatam and the punya sanchaya gets finished, shine punya, we come back to martalok. So is this the account, does it get reset every time? I know it sounds stupid question.
No, see, in
when
sixth adhyaya, what we have learned in
we-
last few shlokas, the account gets carried forward from life to life. You are going to heaven loka and staying there for a few years does not wipe out your total samskar. Samskar continue with you in your next life as well when you take rebirth. That's why when Swargaloka, your stay in Swargaloka is exhausted, because your Punya Sanchaya is exhausted, that does not mean you take birth in an ordinary family. Your past sanskars continue to be with you. And then you take birth in the appropriate family. That is what Paramatma says. You select and there is third stage, that is called the dream-like stage. After you have exhausted your Punya Sanchaya in Swargaloka and you are not finding the appropriate set of parent, then that interim period you have to live in a dream-like stage. And that dream-like stage could be for 1 year or could be 50 years. Till the time you find your appropriate set of parents, you may have to be in the waiting line. But that does not mean that your past karmas are totally gone. You will definitely get the proper set of parents.
Okay, so means it's not, when we say kshine punya, that doesn't come to zero.
No, it doesn't come to zero. It doesn't come to zero. It will get carried forward to your next life. Only thing is your Punya Sanchaya is finished, but your rebirth, you are still qualified to take your rebirth based on your past life. That remains.
Thank you.
Kamini Didi?
जय श्री कृष्ण।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
मेरा एक सवाल है, हिंदी में बात करूं या इंग्लिश में करूं?
Whatever you prefer. हिंदी में कर तो चलेगा।
हिंदी में जरा स्पष्ट बोल सकती हूँ, इंग्लिश में I have to just find out some words in my mind, then I have to say. So it will be difficult for me also.
No problem.
हाँ, मेरा सवाल है कि मैं अभी ओल्ड एज की हूँ और मेरा सब घर में काम खत्म होने के बाद, सेवा पूजा करने के बाद, फैमिली हेल्पिंग द अदर्स, and then I get some free time. I do the yoga also. I get free time, and if I don't find the free time, still I get some free time, at least 20 minutes a day, and started to write some mantra in the notebook. So is it okay to write some mantra in the notebook so that mind, hand, everything should be concentrated with the mantra? और क्या किया, हर वक्त नोट पूरी हो गई, अलग अलग मंत्र लिखने का शुरू किया, कभी गायत्री मंत्र, कभी राम राम, कभी ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम गणपते नमः. Is it okay to write the different name or to write the same name?
You see, Paramatma has explained in many shlokas in Bhagavad Gita, Avvyabhicharani Bhakti. Avvyabhicharani Bhakti means focused at one point only. Don't drift your intellect, don't drift your bhakti devotion in different directions. Even if you are worshipping, say, Ganesh ji, Paramatma says, Ganesh ji and me are not different. But if you treat Ganesh ji as Ganesh ji and Paramatma as a different, then there is a mistake. You may be worshipping one Swamiji or one Mahatma who is a human being, but so long as you see Paramatma in him, then you are achieving your goal of devotion. But when the day you consider your Swamiji is different and Paramatma is different, you are differentiating between the two. That means you are not seeing Paramatma in him. You are not going near to Paramatma. So the only expectation Paramatma has expressed in Bhagavad Gita is, whomsoever you want to worship, you are free. You can follow any Devta, but try to see me in that Devta. Don't treat that Devta as different than me.
Okay. So I have to write the same name with all
Yeah,
the
you
books
better
with
write
the
the
same
same
name.
name. Yeah, normally people do the same way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Shri.
Anyone having any question? It was great pleasure to listen to your words, Bhayaji. I am blessed and we are learning so much from you. I am blessed to hear. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much once again.
Thank you.
Now it's time for a Samapana prayer.
Yeah.
So let's take the Samapana prayer. Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Vrajapriyam Dharma Samsthapakam Veeram Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadguru.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri
I'm
Krishna.
to play Hanuman Chalisa. I'm playing Hanuman Chalisa.
Yeah.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनऊ रघुवर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन वरन विराज सुवेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिवे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिवे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस वदन तुम्हारो जस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हारो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संभारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के आता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महा सुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
I look forward to our next interpretation session on next week. Jai Shri Ram to everyone.